So today is February 21st, 2022, and Joe Rogan just had one of the best podcasts of all time on his show. And I mean that really from a silver perspective and gold perspective. I can't say the guy's name, like I can't pronounce it. Maajid Nawaz. I'm probably saying it wrong, but so the first part of this interview was interesting. The second half really relates to precious metals. So he said, the guest said that the reason for these vaccine passports and these checkpoints in like with the trucking is for bringing in a world cryptocurrency centralized, right? So this guy's pretty good. I mean, he's got a lot of good knowledge. He used to be a radicalized Islamic terrorist, and then he complete shift, and now he's talking about central banks making a world reserve digital currency that's centralized. So that's fascinating. So if someone had said what he said like 10 years ago, we'd see the silver really, the stuff's barely moving, right? Silver barely moving. So I'm telling you. Oh, and Jason Hummel, remember this big silver bug? He's making copper videos, okay? So we have the world reserve currency, world currency by central banks, digital being talked about openly. And the former biggest silver bugs are talking about copper. Max Keiser recently said he's selling all of his gold and silver. So, I mean, if you look at contrarian indicators, those are pretty big. I mean, silver is really sucking. I mean, considering what's going on, considering the inflation in silver's price, it's really sucking. But, I mean, maybe what's going on is, I don't know. And so maybe that tells you something about contrarian indicators. So another thing is about decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Here's something to think about. There are 21 million Bitcoins. 1 million are held by someone who we have no idea who this person is. So if you have 21 million of something and one person owns 1 million and they decide to sell all their cryptocurrency, guess what happens to Bitcoin? So if you own Bitcoin, your fate is in the hands of a few people. One person could totally tank your investment. If that one person sells, guess what's going to happen? Big chain reaction all the way down. Because people can see these wallets. People know that there's this big holder of Bitcoin. It's Satoshi. We don't know who this person is. But I'll tell you one thing. If I was one of these banksters and in the future I wanted to create a world digital currency, what would I do first? I would create a decentralized one and then hold a lot of it, and then at the right time dump all my Bitcoin, completely crash the price, and destroy the confidence in these decentralized private currencies, and then bring in the centralized, official, regulated version. So I'm telling you one thing, there's a scenario here where one of these big holders, I mean, a handful of people own a lot of this stuff. What happens if the Winklevoss twins decide to sell their $5 billion worth of crypto? What will the people following them do? So I'm all for a decentralized digital currency, but not owned by a few people who could tank the market. That's a huge fragile risk. I mean, if we're going to have a real decentralized currency, you can't have a few people who can tank the price on you at will. With silver and gold, that's not the case. So thanks and be well.